panic and hysteria. Poor man learn, the rich man don't care for your narcissist mindset spread like malaria. Sit back and watch the show, America.
I must have forgotten that he played piano. You can't even see the piano with that thing on his head. Wagwan people thems. So this has been a very, very, very long overdue return to some Ren. So it's near my birthday as well. I think was that the last time I reacted to Ren? Maybe there was like one or two after then, but that was like end of March. Obviously, we're now at the kind of end of May, and I've been cycling through some other artists and stuff, which I've explained in previous posts already. So I know that if you are here, then you understand. But what's been really cool is because I've still got so many things to venture when it comes to Ren. Literally, like a kid in a candy shop. So I'm like, ooh. Where to go first? So I've actually decided that I'm going to do the Money Game series because it's a 3-part series, and again I've been away for a little while with the Ren reactions and stuff, so I think that'd be a nice, good, juicy bit of Ren to kind of dig on into. And then I think there's a few other ones, like Back on 74 I think is another one that's caught my eye, and didn't ever get around to doing Wade in the Water. So I really want to do Wade in the Water. It's a Ren week, so I'll be able to do a few Ren reactions this week, I think. So yeah, I'm quite excited about that. I cannot lie. And I think the thing as well, like, which I think has just been so awesome, which I say in every single video, is that every single renegade or person who has maybe stumbled across Ren or whatever, like, has just been so freaking cool. Like, I've had so many lovely messages, like because I really do genuinely read them all. I just can't respond to all of them all the time because I get so many. But there's just so many lovely people out there. Like, so if it's you, if I'm talking to you, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't know much about what this Money Game is, but I'm gonna presume after the tales of Jenny and Screech that it's gonna be something that's gonna be quite visceral. And maybe something that's probably quite relevant for what's going on in the world right now, because I know there's a lot of people, myself included, that are broke pocket, and there's a lot of people that are like putting their wrong focus onto the wrong people. So I don't know whether the Money Game is going to be about like the trappings of money and capitalism and where that's led to and where we're at right now and who are the scapegoat. That's where my head is going as to what it might be about. So I'm expecting it to be heavy. I'm not going into this thinking, "Whoa, we're in for some nice frivolity." Do you know what I mean? Which is absolutely fine. So let's waste our time and let's dive straight on in. Money Game. I've gone for the one that's there's a video that's got all 3 parts in it, so I'm just gonna do that one as opposed to the separate ones. But the first part has got 6.5 million views, so I already know how popular this is. And also as well, you know, it's really funny. So like because I always say that, like, when you're waiting for something, like waiting for a bus and then like a million buses come at once. Do you know how many people have sent me the video of High Ren to be like, "Oh, Luke," because obviously not all my friends know that I've got a channel, so it's starting to filter through that people now know, and they're like, "Oh, I think this would be really good for you to react to. Like, you got to check him out." And I'm like, "Boo." I've already seen him.
Strange times we're living in, world come put fear in it. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through parliament interiors. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Theory, strike, fearing, weary-minded men, when we're clearly living in dictatorships, nearly blinded by illusions to choose. But who's fooling who? Ball chain to your shoes on pain. It's a crying shame. Pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets the whole world burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. Money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game.
Oh, rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way. And no surprise to distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we got to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game. This whole money game.
Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas that keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say proudly through gritted teeth, it's my right to hate, that's freedom of speech. When did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, because us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered and murdered our savages, colonized all of the rest. It's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you'd never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you demigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're an immigrant, cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent, I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome. Also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we make the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play and repeat. The same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions are our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle we sleep.
Rain, 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 rain. The storm it comes our way. And those who fight, you distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we got to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game. This old money game. This old money game.
Wow. Listen, I'm guessing that's the end of part one, right? That's gonna be the end of part one, surely. Is it? I mean, 16 minutes, that means 13 minutes. Does that mean the other two parts are like 7 minutes long? But that does feel like a natural end. Oh, let's press play a bit more. Just okay, no, yeah, okay. You know already that I'm gonna play that part again. Yeah, you know. I mean, just understand. Like, I'm in this whole new realm when it comes to like my reactions. When it comes to like anything rappy, anything that's like, in fact, not even anything rappy. Like even things like Aurora or just in general. Like I'm like lyrics. I want to know what you meant. I want to know how you meant it. I want to know the context of what you said, where that art came. Like I want to know it all. And with Ren in particular, like there are so many things that he speaks on. This is like the English language and literature like coming out in me where I'm just like, right, what did the author mean? Let's talk about it. So I love the fact that I wasn't too far off with where I thought Money Game was going to be about in terms of what he was going to be talking about. But I couldn't have foreseen just how he would have interwoven life, yeah? Life. Oh, life, like how he would have interwoven that into a tune, because at one point I'm like, look, the stuff he's talking about here is pretty serious, stop jigging up yourself. But I'm like, but no, like how am I not going to like not move when I hear a tune? I move. It's what I do. Do you know what I mean? Call me Happy Feet. It's what I'm about. So yeah. So already I'm like, what you're talking about is really hard hitting, really relevant. But again, you've managed to like interweave that into a tune that I'm bopping to, and I'm mm, mm, like that. So that is so sick. Melody wise, vocally, like the chorus in what I'm talking about. He sounds. I don't know. I think this might be my favorite, like singing, like vibe from him. Obviously, he did a really good job with Chinchilla and stuff, and but in terms of how this sounds, and again, I know it's like super political, so it's not every day that you really want to be, focused on the bigots and stuff like that. But I think because it's so consciously relevant, like it would make me want to play it anyway because it's life, and he's not only just singing, but he's displaying like the bars as well. There were some bits in there that like if the lyrics were on the screen, I would have been like, I don't even know what you just said there because you know Flash from Justice League. You just your mouth just boom 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 boom. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna listen to it again and just see whether or not like I can pick up exactly everything that he said. But from what I'm getting from it so far, he's very much just like, yo, there is so much money like that has been made, paper that was there for trade initially, but now we're all part of it. And as much as you've got this aristocracy, the MPs and government and on all these rich banking elite people that basically got us doing all kinds of culture wars and fighting each other and stuff. Actually, we're part of it too. And there was a line that you said there about something like a passion lighting a flame for you or something, but then even then like that then can turn into greed because you're then wanting to turn your passion into something that's going to make you money. Like, it just made me instantly think of my channel because I was like, I love my channel, like, and I'm passionate about it. But at the same time, because we live in a world where money runs the world, like I need to also have this do something that's gonna make me money. Otherwise, like I'm going to be full of passion and poor. Do you know what I mean? Like I need to eat and I got bills. So like that resounded with me straight away. And also the line about holding up the mirror to ourselves and stuff, because it's easy to point the finger and it's easy to blame, but actually how many of us are actually willing to go, well, here's a mirror, mate, like what you saying? It's only part one and I'm already like, jeez, wow. And it sounds like a sea shanty almost.
Strange times we're living in, world come put fear in you. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs through parliament in theory. As devils walk among us, they fit the criteria.
I mean, the fact they said there, sorry, I'm gonna stop this because the lyrics are up here rather than me having to go back to the lyrics and da. So like, greed runs through parliament. Like, I mean, that doesn't even need explaining. Do you know what I mean? We definitely do live in a time where like fear is out there and can make us feel fearful. But the fact that like there is so much money running through, look how much money they wasted during the pandemic. How much money has just gone? I don't see anyone recording that money back. I don't see any investigations about to get that back. But it's okay though. It's okay. All that elderly can just go without heating. Yeah, great, lovely.
Yeah, eerie theory, strike fearing, weary-minded man when we're clearly living in dictatorships, nearly blinded by illusions to choose. But who's fooling who? Ball chain to your shoes on pain. It's a crying shame. Pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets the whole world burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns.
So again, there's so many bars in that. The illusion of being able to choose, because look how many people feel disillusioned about who to vote for and stuff. Like, I'll be honest, like I've always voted for, as long as I've been like able to vote, I've voted. I couldn't tell you the last, apart from Brexit, I definitely voted to not leave. And I also remember voting for the Lib Dems once as well, when Nick Clegg was part of stuff. And that went well. So, there's lots of people that feel really disillusioned, and it's like, yeah, we live in a democracy, but do we? What are we getting to choose, really? when so many people are doing the same said things that you said that you weren't gonna do because X said Y. So, but now you've just gone and done the same thing. So you're just as corrupt as them then. So who exactly am I voting for? So like bars, and then he said that again something about lighting a flame in you, but then again like it turns into what was it? And that who's fooling who? A ball chain to your shoes, like because it is like that, isn't it? Like money really does rule the world. If you've not got none, like it's literally like oxygen. You can't breathe.
Weary-minded men when we're clearly living in the
Dictatorship.
nearly blinded by illusions to choose, but who's fooling who? Ball chain to your shoes on pain. It's a crying shame. Pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets the whole world burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns.
So pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame. So it's not necessarily about his passion, sorry. It's about, yes, so I took that to be his passion. But still, making your own money. I mean, people want to go up the career ladder or they want to start their own businesses or, again, have a passion project that turns into an absolute huge venture. But again, you then start to chase the growth of that and you're part of it. When you hear about people that have started something, say like I don't know, there might be like a restaurant in your area that started off. In fact, I've got a great example. There is a restaurant, I won't name it, but there's a restaurant not too far from me that does the most amazing burgers. Well, did the most amazing burgers, and I'm talking like the quality of the food was just next level from the buns, the actual stuff they put in the burgers. Oops. The actual burgers that were in there, like the applewood smoked bacon and maple bacon with the different types of cheese. Look, listen, they even had these fries. I won't say what the fries are because it will give it away where it is. But like, they even had these fries. I'm like, yo, this is banging. I ordered from there probably about 3 or 4 months ago, and I was so disappointed. I was like, what has happened? The portions were smaller, the burger was smaller, the actual quality of what was in the burger wasn't as good. And I was like, I wonder if this is just because everything's gone up, so therefore they've had to reduce costs now because they're looking at their profit margin. So what started off as something that was absolutely incredible that would make me go and order due to money and the chase of it and keeping up with the money game, like they've had to, I'm presuming, cut costs and cut corners and whatever, and now we've got a subpar product which was bland, tastes bad, and small. It was really small. So it's really easy when you're chasing something for yourself to end up doing that, I guess. So yeah. Anyway, as the world turns, the whole world burns.
Money was invented for trade, but now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game.
Oh, rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way. And no surprise to distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we got the point to blame. It's easier to blame. But point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game.
But then, he raises a good point, like, especially when he's just like, turns a child into a killer, but, the person that fingers on the trigger, a Satan to a sinner, like, it does. Like, you see how money changes people? Like, have you ever watched Traitors? Like, I love Traitors. I think it's such a brilliant psychological game. But again, money, what money will do, how money can change your life, and then what you will do to backstab other people. I mean, that's the name of the game. But even if you're not in Traitors, people will do that anyway. Like, how many family members? I'm so fed up of hearing like how many family members. My mum used to be a social worker, and like she used to talk about, like, obviously never anyone's personal information, but just how many examples there are of people that commit financial abuse, and 9 times out of 10 it is a family member who's rinsing out the bank account. Do you know what I mean? Like, what? Oh, what are we living in where that is something that you would do? That's your mum, that's your nan, that's your granddad. Why are you rinsing out their bank account, taking out their gyro? Like, what? So again, the things that money makes you do, these bits of paper, absolutely bang on. But again, it's really easy to point the fingers and point, and apportion blame, but we're all part of it. We are all part of it. But then I don't know what the answer is though, because ultimately, if we are pointing the finger and we are saying, well, if that's the reason why, and that's the fault, but you also have to, what's the saying? Don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, what are you meant to do then? Like,
A storm it comes our way, and no surprise to distorted lies, poison in the veins, but we got
see, those who rise through poison, those who rise with distorted lies, with poison in their veins. So these are people. I'd imagine a bit like what's happening with the energy stuff at the moment, where you've got all these massive rich oil companies that are just quite happy to be like, you, Doris, yeah, you're paying £16 million for your next bit of electric. Yeah, sorry, it's just the way it is. It is what it is. Sorry, Doris, you can't afford it. Turn off the electric. Like, you've risen up your ranks, and now you're and what you're telling the people, like, is obviously this is not every single person, like, but there is obviously a lot of deceit and there's a lot of corruption to help people get to where they are. Do you know what I mean? Like, and poisoning your veins, because like the mentality is to keep my money and make sure that I'm okay. Don't worry about nobody else. But again, we like to point the blame. I don't know how you couldn't blame that mentality. I don't know how you couldn't blame that.
point to blame. It's easier to blame. We point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game.
His voice sounds incredible on this.
This whole money game. This whole
Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas that keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say proudly through gritted teeth, it's my right to hate, that's freedom of speech.
Again, I don't know when he came out with this, which I'm sure I'll find out afterwards, but like, this literally, I mean, he could have written this yesterday. Literally, this could have been written yesterday. The fact he's talking to the president. Like, I know there's, listen, I try and keep my channel as, neutral when it comes to politics and all that kind of division and stuff, because it's just nice just to come and just escape and whatever. Like, but like when the music takes you there, well, that's out of my hands, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, there is that. I don't think there's ever been a more divisive president than we have right now. Like, I really don't. So the fact that he has put pen to paper, and this is as relevant as it is, and again, like he says, people through gritted teeth think that people are coming to terrorize you in the streets and stuff, because that's the rhetoric that people are kind of sending out. Do you know, and particularly what's people that look a certain way. Like, I never thought we'd ever be in a world where people could genuinely be disappeared without having due process, and people would defend that and say that's absolutely fine. How is that even a world that we're living in? It's so crazy. And when he was talking there about the right to freedom of speech and stuff, and like, there was a bit before this.
this whole
Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas that keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say proudly through gritted teeth, it's my right to hate, that's freedom of speech.
That's it. It's my right to hate. That's freedom of speech. Because so many people always say, well, that's my right. I saw a video just the other day, right? Oh, I don't know who this white lady was. And she was on a panel with Piers Morgan, and I never agree with Piers Morgan on anything. And she was like, oh, just drop in the N-bomb. Like, I've just never seen anything like it. Like, the brazen level of this woman to be like, and there was a black people on the panel, and Pierce was like, but are you just saying this? And she's like, yeah. She's like, but that makes you a disgusting human being. Well, I guess because some people might think so, but let's talk more about that that white woman that was calling that little kid an N-bomb at the playground and thinking it's absolutely fine. Like, their defense of all of that hate and vitriol and just repugnant behavior is freedom of speech. Hey, freedom of speech.
When did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, because us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered and murdered that savages colonized all of the rest. It's called
Sorry, I'm definitely going to put that back. How are you even saying that so quickly? Excuse me? Sorry, I'm not usually one to kind of stop and start like this, but wow.
When did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, because us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered and murdered that savages colonized all of the rest. It's called hypocrisy. Preachers.
Is everyone paying attention? Yeah? Is everyone paying attention? Because I do feel a lot of people, yeah, that feel very, very, very self-righteous. Some people tried to convince me that I should be almost grateful, really. The conquering of all these different countries and all the Commonwealth, that I should be really, really happy with what Britain's role in all of that has been. I should be happy and almost grateful, really. It's something to be proud of. I don't know whether you've seen who I am or where my family came from, but that isn't something I'm ever going to be like, oh, I'm just so grateful for that. Thank you. Thanks. You know, it's like, what? Crazy that he is like quite literally calling out that hypocrisy when you're talking about having freedom, and yet that's what we did in order to attain the freedom that we have now.
When did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, because us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered and murdered that savages colonized all of the rest. It's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you'd never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you demigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're an immigrant, because all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent, I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonized by Rome. Also colonized by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we make the same mistakes all again. Demonize a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play and repeat. The same old TV shows repeat. Yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions are our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right. In the middle we sleep. Right.
Listen, I don't know what I was expecting when I do know what I was expecting when it came to the money game, but this is so much deeper and so much more relevant. Like this is a history lesson for people that don't even know. Like I heard of what was the word called when people are fearful of they're fearful of information and they're fearful of knowledge because they want to stay within that matrix. I mean, they're quite happy to just, sit and have it taste like chicken, and I can sit in my hate, and I don't want you to educate me or to be logical about my thought process at all. And yet, like, Ren has gone out of his way to put a song together that does exactly that. I'm going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Yeah. I'm going to put it in a way, in a 3.5-minute track. Yeah. I'm going to put it in a way that is vibes, that where I'm singing, but I'm talking. Yeah, I am absolutely talking. So you're going to hear me, because how are you going to be talking about immigrants? I'm so fed up of hearing the immigrant conversation. I'm so fed up of it. And it's like, I keep saying to people, and these are even friends of mine. I mean, these are people that I know, that I'm like, what if we were in a situation, yeah, where our country was on fire and we needed help and support? Would you expect and hope that people would offer their hand and say, okay, we will do what we can? Because the thing is, you're going to get bad agents everywhere. In the companies that I've worked in, when we've had bonus structures and stuff, you've got things in place for people that will gamify the system. That's just someone who works at a company that decides, oh, actually, I'm going to try and get away with something because I can. I don't think that's something that is a singular problem depending on the hue or pigment of your skin color. I mean, I think that, or what religion you might be, I think that's just, you get those kind of people everywhere. That doesn't mean that a whole sex of people suddenly should be brandished as X or Y or Z. So I love the fact he's just like, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it, because all this British culture and it's being eroded and do we not have Germanic royal family? Like is it Mountbatten? Which part of do you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like we're all a melting pot here, really. So we shouldn't be in a situation where we're trying to hierarchy a class of people. And I just love the fact that he is willing to go there. Yes, Rain.
Rain, 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 rain. The stormy comes our way. And no surprise to distorted lies. Poison in the veins. But we got to point and blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame. But point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game.
It's so simple.
This old money game. This old money game.
That honestly, that has literally just punched me in the face. That's punched me clean in the face. Like I said, I don't even talk about these things on my channel because, like I said, there's so much division in it that I'm just like, I just don't really want to get into that with people. I just want to come enjoy the music, come and enjoy the movies, come enjoy the anime. Do you know what I mean? Like, but you know, like anybody else, do you know what I mean, that has a brain that cares about other human beings and stuff, like I care. So of course, like I've got an opinion on things, and it's just really awesome how he's managed to, in 3.5 minutes, like capture so much. I keep saying relevance because this is what's happening on the streets today. Like, like look how many people are so sad and down and don't know what to do, like frustrated, scared because of what's happening, like whether it's online, virtually in. I read somewhere today that someone got kicked in the face because he was gay, like, and all he did was be like, I don't appreciate your homophobic slurs. Can we not do that? And they kicked him in the head. Like, you know, there is so much division. There is just so much. It's just like, why? Like, what? And again, it's easy to point the fingers at other people. So it's their fault. It's all those trans people. It's all those gay people. It's all those brown ones on the boat. It's all you there. Like, I saw something on Facebook today, and someone was talking about there was a guy that had approached I say he's a friend of mine, but he's someone that I know, had approached his family and approached his wife and his kid. Now obviously that is disgusting. Do you know what I mean? Like, and there is no place for anybody like that. But because this guy was brown, the the conversation kind of didn't just stem from this person is a disgusting human being. It went straight into all of the other tropes which are just have got no relevance. You don't even know where this person is from. Like, from this video, there was zero way to tell where this person was from, and yet all the chat was going into this is why there's going to be 10,000 more on these boats and I was just like, are you? I mean, I never comment on things like that because I don't like to argue with stupid people, but I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is a disgusting thing, but that doesn't result in this line and this thread that people are so happy to just spat out the hate because there's freedom of speech and it's fine. And actually, it's easier to blame someone that looks like him for everything, yeah, than looking in the mirror and being like, actually, like, which parts am I responsible for my own situation? Do you know what I mean? Anyway. Wow. We're on 36 minutes and we're only in part 1. I'm definitely going to have to edit some of this out. Definitely. Like, 36 minutes on only part 1. Wow. Okay. Part 2. And I'm guessing these parts must be even longer because we've got 13 minutes left to go. So half and half of that, that's like 6.5 minutes for each song. Okay, hit me. Anyway, I'd love to know what you guys made of this. Like, I feel like I've been talking for a long time. Like, what part did you like the most? If there was a part that you liked the most, were there any particular like rhyming schemes or sets of bars that really hit home for you the most? Was there anything that like I've missed that you think, oh, actually you didn't hear me mention or whatever? Yeah, just let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you did enjoy this reaction, then please do drop me a like and subscribe. That would be amazing. Thank you very much. And if you do want access to my reactions before they come to YouTube, then please head over to my Patreon. Oh God, I even hate even saying this after just watching this. Like, oh my God. But it is there, and it would be a great way to support the channel, like if you want to. But yeah, for now, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.